Hello, hello, sons and daughters of Most High God. My name is Beloved Rachel. I receive the King Ministries, where we equip, empower, and enable 1,000,000 people to share the gospel 1,000 times. You will share the gospel 1,000 times. Even now, if you had to put tally marks on, start now, start today. Did I talk about the Lord today? Even hold yourself accountable to this standard. Even start with 10. 10 times. Am I sharing the gospel 10 times today? And know that you are on assignment. The Lord has given you this assignment. If you're watching this today, yes, He has given you this assignment. So Holy Spirit, prepare our hearts, our homes, our families, our country, the world, and Israel to receive our King, Yeshua, the Messiah. The Lord is saying that the roles are reversing for you. The roles are reversing for you. What does He mean by this? So the Lord gave me a dream last night, and it was very interesting because as I'm like, the Lord has called me into ministry, and I'm just kind of like going with the flow, and trying to just learn how to do what the Lord's called me to do every day. And my life is not limited to just doing this. He has me ministering to people in person, and operating in like healing ministry, through the workplace, where I get to pray for people's healing, not directly, but I get to actually be praying for people, and they're coming to receive healing, right? And so, in a medical office setting. So this is like, there are multiple aspects of that the Lord's called you to. And they're all one and the same purpose, and they're for ministry. They're for His purpose, bringing the kingdom, Jesus's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. And they're all tied, but they're all different. And they're all, He also is having me, as many of you know from previously videos, I'm still working on my book. So God bless that book, so that people can come to know you through the book that I'm writing. Anyway, and so God has had multiple aspects and different ways that He is using you in the season. He's not limited. And so that He's causing you to do this. And so in this dream, the Lord had me seeing a vision where me and my daughter were actually preaching in front of a large group of people, right? And the Lord has shown me that eventually that as the ministry grows, and as I start to learn more about how to partner with Him in the ministry He's doing, then He gets to be like the hands and feet of it, like the power behind it, because I'm learning how to get out of the way so He can do it, but also being in the position to do that, and working with Him to do it. That doesn't just happen overnight. It's something that you have to spend time with Him and cultivate in your life, right? And so the Lord showed me that eventually that will it will overflow into that, right? And I will be able to meet with you guys in person, and share messages live in person. And so anyway, I saw this in a dream. My daughter was doing it as well, and she was the speaker. And at this particular it was a large gathering, outdoor gatherings, it was almost like at a festival, like a fair or something, where there was a lot of different things going on, but people came specifically for that. Anyway, and there was a person in the front row, and that person raised their hand and asked a question, and Jenna answered their question. The lady was like, oh, my name is da da da, and she asked her question, and she was like, okay, and Jenna answered, and then she was like, oh, can I meet with you after the service or whatever? And she was like, yeah, of course, and so everybody was starting to go on, was over, and they were going on their own way. And so I took, as we were getting off the platform, I was telling Jenna, I said, look, that was Billy Graham's granddaughter, and and Graham Lott's daughter. And she was like, oh, she didn't know who that was. So when she heard the name, she didn't recognize her, and she didn't recognize the name. It didn't occur to her. She didn't even recognize Billy Graham's name. She didn't know who that was, right? Well, but in real life, I actually have met them. I have met Anne Graham Lott, and I have met her daughter. So, but I went to a conference to see them, right? And so what the Lord is saying is that He's changing He's reversing the roles. He's going to have people in your industry coming to see you, as opposed to where how you used to go see them, God is, really reversing the roles and allowing them to come and receive from you. You used to receive from them, now they're receiving from you. And this is just a beautiful expression of God's glory and what he's doing, and it is a little bit of changing of the guards, as well as, a refreshing for those who have been in ministry. Honestly, it's a ministry. It's a refreshing. It's like he's sending ministering angels to refresh them as well. They're not in it alone, just like Elijah thought he was in it alone. They're not in it alone. There are other people coming up alongside of them and also refreshing them as well. And so being that part of the same community, part of the same, mission, the same mission field, there's great encouragement and like soul, like soothingness to feel that, even if maybe you're not in the same, you're not in the same trenches together, like doing, fighting off the same, exact battle, but just knowing that there are other people in the battle facing other enemies and, bringing in and saving those who do need to be saved in those places. This is so encouraging, right? And so the Lord is wanting to encourage them as well through you. So the roles are reversing. So not only that, he's also elevating your responsibility. So this is a new level of responsibility as he's giving you that higher mantle, higher calling to carry heavier weights, because the weights they had been carrying, just like when Jehu took the mantle and so did Elisha. Elisha had to have a double portion blessing in order to face what Elijah was facing on his own. He couldn't do it in his own power, and God said, go and anoint a king, a priest, and a prophet. And so he did just exactly that. And we know that, Jehu got rid of Jezebel, in one fell swoop. He just showed up and she fell down, right? It was that easy. It was that quick. He just needed to have somebody from the inside who would turn on her, who would stand for God, who would stand for him. And that was why Elijah had such a hard time, because there was nobody who he could call out to and say, hey, can you, and that's why he felt like he was alone. Like, can somebody just throw this woman out the window? It's not that hard. Nobody would do it. Nobody would turn. And so that was what was so frustrating for Elijah. It was so frustrating he could die, right? And so, this is what has happened to the leaders who have been in this race longer than you. They're tired and they feel like they're in it alone. So this is also a grace for them. It's also a heavy mantle, because they've already been carrying a very heavy mantle. So if you start refreshing for those, start sharing in the calling of those who have come before you, who have reached higher heights than you, had made more impact than you, then of course you're going to need that double portion blessing. So stick with the Lord, continue to be fixed on him and allow him to do it, but stand actually boldly and don't be intimidated by the situation. Just know that God is doing it and that you are just like walking lightly in his purposes. And what God had to take you through, just like my other message about Jeremiah. What God had to take you through in order to get you to this place. It did not come easy. It did not come. It came with being willing to be obedient. Now, some people can do it because they're forced into it and because they have to be cleaned out. But you went into that willingly. God gave you the opportunity to go through the pruning process. You chose to go through the pruning process. You didn't have to be forced into it. You chose it. You said, yes, Lord, refine me, clean me out, do all that plumbing work that needs to happen. I repent. God, get down into the deepest, yuckiest muck of my heart and clean me out, Lord, and replace that with living water. So you didn't just come across this by chance. God had to clean you out. This was not a circumstantial. This was not a shortcut path. You are in this position, and so if God, once you're there and you're standing in it, don't be intimidated by it. Just go roll with the punches, because it's not about you. The Lord has things to do, and we have a very short period of time to do it. So don't even look around. Don't even look at the lights. you know, the enemy will like try to give you these like artificial flashing lights, is what I'm seeing right now. Like he's like, you are a light, but the enemy tries to be like, look at the flashing lights, these artificial lights. He's like, no, you are the real thing. You are shining brightly, and you're causing other people to shine brightly. Keep your eyes fixed on him and his light alone, not on the flashing lights. Those are artificial lights. That's a distraction from the enemy. Keep running your race. Do not give up. God is doing a great and mighty, wonderful thing in your life, because it's for his glory, and the King is coming soon. So this is Receive the King Ministries. My name is Rachel, and I love to see you back again. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And if you'd like to meet with me in person, I'd love to pray with you. I'll be at the Gathering Place Church here in San Diego. Love to meet with you, chat with you, talk with you, and even pray with you. And also you can connect with me as well on email. You can find that in my profile description. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.